Let's take it over the world of advertising here for a second at the news desk. And I got a couple good ones here, Miles, I think would be some good jumping off points for discussion. So, all right, the first one, I just love this headline. It's so bold. I don't know. Apple's stunning plan to strike Facebook with brilliant new iPhone features. All right, this came out a few days ago from Forbes magazine's tech desk, talking about the ever evolving battle here between Apple and Facebook, which we've been talking about a little bit throughout the course of the year here. I'll just read you a quick paragraph to open up the discussion here. Apple's about to strike Facebook with a major blow that will hit the data-hungry social network's revenues and could force it to change its ways. That's because in September this year, Apple will launch its iOS 15 operating system update. Yes, they're coming out with another one, bringing with it multiple new iPhone features. Among those are privacy reports, which will show you how often apps access your iPhone's camera and contacts, as well as highlighting which third-party domains you are contacting and when. In iOS 15, Apple is also introducing features that will help put a stop to email tracking on your iPhone. The iPhone maker is also enhancing its Safari browser with privacy controls, such as its iCloud privacy relay. It also comes after Apple introduces app tracking transparency in iOS 14.5 at the end of April. The new iPhone feature hurts the likes of Facebook by making tracking across apps and websites opt-in only. So without getting too technical into this, let's keep it kind of surface level. Basically what is happening is in this new update, for iPhone users, there's going to be more options for you to see how you're being tracked, how your contacts are being utilized, how your phone's being utilized, et cetera, as you integrate with apps like Facebook. And so the thinking is this is going to make even more people opt out of tracking. And we do have a stat here. As predicted, iOS's 14.5 update has already hurt Facebook and its advertisers. In fact, the latest figures from Branch, which analyze mobile app growth, show that 75% of iPhone users are opting out of being tracked across their iPhones. So it's already at 75%. With this new update, it's going to likely climb even higher. And so this, of course, has been kind of an ongoing topic that we've been discussing, like I said, for really all of 2021. And as we talked about last week, at the end of last week's show, so it's kind of dovetailing back into that, Facebook itself in its quarterly earnings report has stated that the price of their product, the advertising, has significantly gone up, and they're anticipating that it's going to go up even more in the back half of the year. So again, we have a scenario where it's getting more expensive and it's also getting harder to accomplish results. And I talked a little bit about this last week, how, this creates fear, and fear could be forget everything and run, or it could be face everything and rise, depending on your outlook and how you're looking at it. But Miles, really the kind of thing that the real reason I wanted to bring this up for discussion was to talk about really doubling down on content production and doubling down on messaging and copy. And I really think that this is a moment in time where us as advertisers have to stop and think really, really critically about what we're putting out there. And, just to maybe let's just give a little bit of background for nobody who's ever done an advertising campaign, or if you've never done one with us, so typically the costs that are involved, right, are the ad spend that you're giving to the platform. So in this case, we're talking about Facebook. Then if you have somebody that is doing your marketing for you, you're probably paying a percentage on top of that to them, or a retainer like we do. It's just a flat rate retainer, monthly fee that goes, for our management, optimization, and some content production. But then when we do really full on and gross content production, creating original stuff from scratch, that will sometimes be another cost, right? You may have to hire a photography team, a videography team, a drone team, whoever it is, to come in and do this. In my mind, there are two ways to go about this problem as an advertiser. You can say, well, okay, I'm going to start forecasting more ad spend budget to try to keep up with the rising cost, right? And or I could say, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make better content. And I'm going to take the same amount of money or more money, and I'm going to invest it in the content side of things. And I'm going to try to get more with less, right? And to me, getting good content and messaging and saying the right thing is always going to be the most important thing. And so I would double down in that area if it's me. You know, obviously both is always a better plan. But a lot of small businesses can't afford that luxury, right? They're like, hey, my marketing budget is $2,000 a month or whatever it is, and it's not going to go up. And so we have to figure out, okay, how are we going to work smarter and not harder? And then the other thing, you know, that we talk about a lot, but it always bears repeating, is I think this really, really, really creates a call to action for us as marketers and business owners to make sure that our top of the funnel, middle of the funnel marketing, especially through platforms like Facebook, is bringing people back to something that we control. It's bringing somebody back to the website, back to the newsletters, back to the mobile app, because that is capturing those people as prices continue to rise is going to be so important. You know, like we talked about this a little bit last week, Miles, with your example from Mr. Patel. You know, if I can get my conversion rate to go down just a little bit, it's going to make a world of difference. Well, what's a great way to get your conversion rate down? Okay, you know, set up a better website, you know, whatever you're converting on, but also on the front end of it, making content and making messaging that actually matters, that people actually care about, and they want to engage with the first, second, or third time they see it, not the 15th, 16th, 17th time they see it. Because if these prices keep going up, most small businesses aren't going to be able to afford to talk to somebody 17, 18, 19 times and keep having them saying no. So I know that was a little long-winded news story there, Miles, but I think it's
good
really,
stuff.
I think it's really, really important. And I don't think enough people are explaining this and talking to about this to business owners. You know, this is a discussion that's happening among us marketers, and marketers are just going back to business owners and saying, give me more money, you know, but we're not really taking the time to explain to them what is happening and what are the options on the table in order to navigate this.